Now, if you wish, there may be more sharing, questions, and discussion.
Hi, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I was just, thank you so much for that meditation.
Thank all of you for you co-created it.
I was wondering if you could clarify. I was in it and I don't really remember much about, I'm visualizing doing it at home, and if you could clarify just a little more about the difference between when you're going down the spiral and then when you're going up.
Well, the main difference is what you bring back with you from the center.
Okay.
You go down with an intention, you come back with a result of that intention. And then you see how that result has changed what you originally started with.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
That's the simple way to understand it.
Okay.
Is that sufficient? Or is there some other detail you wish to explore about that process?
No, that's good for the process.
All right. If you wish, just listen back to the recording
Okay.
as many times as necessary to get all the nuances of exactly what we said in the way we said it.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get it.
Mm-hmm.
You'll feel your way down the path. It will become familiar to you. The only reason it seems a little confusing or unclear right now is you're not familiar with that path. But as you journey down the spiral and come back, you will make your own way. You'll make your own markers. You'll make your own signposts, and you'll learn to recognize them and become familiar with that as your path,
Okay.
not just a path. And as you move through the different dimensions of it, you will actually be moving through different dimensions of yourself. And coming back out through other dimensions of yourself. And as you do that over and over again, you will eventually touch base with all the different aspects and dimensions in space and time that make up your personality and corporeal being. And you'll begin to see how your spirit relates to that, and you'll begin to understand, when you see how your spirit relates to that, what kind of original choices you made in being physical, and what kind of core beliefs you may have attached yourself to in the experience of physicality. You'll begin to develop a new language for yourself, a new way of communicating with yourself. That's what this journey using this dimensional spiral will do. This is something our civilization created long ago, and we used to great effect to bring us as one tool to where we are today. Do you follow me? Mm-hmm. We are sharing this tool with you because now is the time we know it will actually begin to work for you, because your collective energy and individual energy is now in a place where you can actually adapt this. Mm-hmm. Does that help you?
That helps a lot.
Then pleasant dreams.
Thank you. Thank you, Bashar.
Time to get back in my body.
All right. Welcome back.
Thank you. This is not just quantum physics, but this is alchemy. This is...
It's all the same thing.
Yes. This is creation of miracles.
It's all the same thing.
Just amazing.
As I said, amazement will become the natural order of the day.
Thank you. One thing I would like to clarify, and this relates to the core issue, of course.
Yes.
Collapsing of space-time.
Yes.
And this is speaking quantumly, but of course it's just the... when we were going through that exercise, I saw 3 different parallel... as I was holding the diagram,
yes.
I saw 3 versions of that.
Good.
At the same time, physically.
Very good.
Which is, yeah, it's very amazing.
Yes. More amazing, yes.
Yeah, and I guess my question is, out of those realities, we choose which reality we want,
yes.
obviously.
Yes.
And I've gone through, with my life, I've gone through some very exotic parallel universe trips, but they were never conscious. They happened
yes.
accidentally.
Yes.
How do we choose to either...
Well, this exercise is also designed to make that experience more conscious.
Boy, something happened, yeah, definitely.
Yes. Oh yes, you see, this is why we had to wait till now to bring this tool in. It's actually going to start making some of you begin to actually consciously perceive the different parallel realities, and only now are you at the beginning of the point where you have the capacity to begin to integrate them in a way that will not drive you crazy.
And to consciously
Yes.
create that versus hallucinating it, which is really the same
Exactly.
thing, different
Yes.
perspective.
Yes. Very good. Yes, well put.
Yes, thank you. It's all getting clearer now. The other thing is when you had talked before the break about, and this is the second thing with core issues.
Yes.
The lady brought up fear.
Yes.
And you brought up the Home with God book. I was up till about 2 a.m. finishing that book.
All right, thank you.
So it's very apropos. Of course, there's no coincidence.
No,
Right?
thank you for your synchronicity.
Yes. My question on that is,
Yes.
she talked about fear. Now, instead of going through all the layers and layers and layers, let's say, of all of our fears,
Yes.
what I came to the conclusion last night and also earlier today when you were talking about that, in relationship to that,
Yes.
is, now that book talked about death and how death is a form of ultimate creation.
Yes.
So if you look at it from that standpoint,
Yes.
I guess one of the greatest fears I have in most humans is the fear of death.
Yes.
So if you can transmute and transform the fear of that
Yes.
as a core issue,
Yes.
maybe my belief is that there's a way of transmuting all fears.
Yes.
Of everything.
Yes.
Correct? Like at the very core of the core issue of fear itself.
Yes, 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 yes. Yes. Completely and specifically. Yes.
Does that mean yes?
Yes. Well, maybe.
And that goes back to sea, the
Yes.
sea, going
Yes,
up
yes,
and down the sea. Yeah.
Yes.
And okay, so that makes sense.
Oh, thank you.
From the core,
We think so.
Yeah, the core of the core of the core of the core of the core issue.
It touches everything above it.
Because if you perceive the fear of dying as an ultimate form of creation, maybe in a different vibrational
Yes.
path,
Yes.
then if there's no fear of that, then nothing
Yes.
else. The vaporizes the
Yes.
fear of everything
Yes,
else.
this
Doesn't
is why we began long ago, in your terms of time, the idea of delivering information about what we call the 4 laws. The first law being, you exist. That can't change. You may change the form of your experience of existence, but you will always exist in some form, and you will always know you're you. Always. That is simply a state of absolute now-ness. That can't change.
And that's how you collapse time.
Yes, yes. Because you understand that time is only created by you when you create a bunch of details in which they must exist in time.
Because there is no time.
There isn't really, although there's the experience of
Physical.
it. Yes. It is a way of simply holding on to all of the parts you view yourself as. But when you stop viewing yourself as a collection of parts and see yourself more holistically, then only one moment is needed to experience that. And time collapses into the eternal now moment.
Yes.
Yes. Does that help?
That helps a lot. One
Yes.
observation,
Oh, yeah.
the synchronicities. We talked about love as being the most ultimate, the most powerful force in the universe, the creation.
Well, it's not a force per se, but
Right.
yes.
As,
It is the very substance of existence.
Right, and
It's the
about-
vibration of it.
and how that interfaces with the heart. And what
Yes.
I noticed today
Yes.
is that you're wearing red.
Well, the channel is.
The channel is wearing red.
Yes,
and
we
the
told
plants-
him to do so.
And the plants behind you,
Yes.
if you look at it a certain way, forms the shape of a heart.
Yes.
2 parts coming together. It's very
No accidents.
interesting.
Yes. We have never really been in a position to dictate to the channel what he should wear in the morning. But today was an exception. And he knew that the final piece of downloaded information was pick the red shirt. it will go along with the vibration of desire that will be discussed.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Is there further question?
Yes, there is.
All right, well, you may proceed.
Thank you. This is Hassan again. Asked
Oh,
question
again?
yesterday, and again and again.
But never the same Hassan twice.
Never, yeah. I agree. I have 3 parts basically. First one is...
Oh, how orderly of you.
Thank you. I would like to share my experience.
Please.
The trip
Please.
we take, like diving in the ocean.
Yes.
First, I was on the surface. I was seeing blue skies, like some birds flying and everything. There was silver reflection of the sun
Yes.
on the surface.
Yes.
And I was in a solid oval, like a diving ship.
All right.
And then I was diving in, and when I reached the core, as you said,
Yes.
my ship like changed to be like spherical and
Alright.
transparent and everything.
All right.
And I could feel it. And then when I went back to the surface, I tried to reimagine the blue skies and everything.
Yes.
And the same as before, but I couldn't.
All right.
It
Very
was
good.
like always like purplish,
Yes.
violetish,
Yes.
and like the ocean turned into like
All right. Very good.
thick silver liquidish.
All right. We
kind
said
of
there might be
thing.
changes. Yes.
Yeah, so
Anytime you go to the core and come back up, there is likely to be changes.
and the thing is, I turned my lights on way earlier before you said.
That's
turn
all
them on,
right.
So
That's all right. There is no right way or wrong way to do this. Your imagination is the best guide. We are only giving you the basic structure. Your imagination tells you in what order and at what pace is best for you. So by all means, allow yourself to follow your imagination. That's very good.
all right. The second part is I picked up on different energies.
Yes.
One of them, I have like 3 of them I want to mention first before I come to my question, but I do it fast.
Yes.
One of them was I live in Venice Beach in Los Angeles, and
All right.
whenever I pass by the boardwalk, I see a sign saying sidewalk market.
Yes.
And whenever I see it, something strikes me, and I say something will happen around that area and everything.
Yes.
So a few years later, we ended up living just on the corner of that
Yes.
place.
Yes.
Another
right.
incident is in Lebanon. I was used to drive by a street, and I always think something bad is going to happen there.
All right.
And later on, the prime minister was assassinated on
All
the
right.
same street I
All right.
was feeling the feelings at.
All right. Very good. And
So my question now is,
Yes.
many times when I look at the clock, I see it's 11:11.
yes, synchronous doorway reminder.
And it always strikes me, and just want to know like the significance of it.
I just
always
told
see
you.
it.
The significance of setting up those kinds of synchronicities is to allow yourself to have markers to know that you are operating in the appropriate vibration at that moment that you need to be in.
All right. Thank
Now,
you.
the idea of the other incidents, again, has to do with the concept that when you're in the appropriate vibration, time collapses. All space and all time are one, and when you pick up on the vibration that is going on in a particular area, that is the strongest vibration of the area, you can, by collapsing time in that way, get a sense of parallel realities that may ultimately manifest that you will participate in, or that you will come to know about. Because all those things happen all at once. So you were simply picking up on vibrations that were the strongest probability and likelihood of parallel realities that may occur in certain places because you are sensitive to that and able to be in the proper place, the 11:11 doorway, that will allow you to collapse space, collapse time, and actually get a sense of the most likely manifestation of parallel reality that may occur in any given so-called space-time coordinate location. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Does that help you?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
I have one last thing.
Oh, one last thing. Yes, all right.
yes. Which is kind of similar to an incident which happens with a guy called Joe.
A guy called Joe.
In one of your previous sessions,
Oh,
where
all right.
an encounter with a turtle named Lumpy.
Lumpy. All right. A lumpy turtle. Yes.
And it's similar in a way that he was encountering that with an animal. Meanwhile, I was encountering an interaction with flower bushes, basically.
Yes. How so?
My mom had an installation and she needed to get some yellow flowers from
Yes.
somewhere. And so I went there, there was several bushes, and so I was hearing as if them telling me something, you know, like each one of them says something different.
Yes.
Like the bushes in the back, they were saying, you know, we look very ugly, we're dying, we don't care, you can take from us, you know.
All
and
right.
blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, there is like one bush which was like by itself in the front, and it's very like alive and everything.
Yes.
And it was telling me as if, you know, stay away from me, take that one, take this one, you know.
All right.
And the thing is, I was following what the flowers were telling me, you know.
Yes.
It's not like I still insisted to take that, you know.
Yes.
So, I
All
don't
right.
know, also like...
How does the turtle figure in?
Well, it just was, as I said, similar in the sense that it was interactions with people, I mean, with I'm not species, no.
You are communicating with different life forms.
Yes, different than just the humans, basically.
Well, yes.
And
All life forms have intelligence in one way or another and can communicate. And again, because you have created for yourself a particular kind of vibratory frequency that collapses space-time, you are able to pick up on frequencies of communications in different bandwidths and interpret them and translate them into something you can understand.
all right.
So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank
I
you.
appreciate it.
Say hi to Lumpy.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
For me, it was interesting in the meditation because I had to get out of the ship and just dive into the water
Oh, all right.
without any protection, which was interesting.
Well, it's not for protection, but go ahead.
What is it for?
We'll see.
I want to revisit something that happened before the lunch break because it was an aha moment for me. When you
All
were
right.
talking to the healer who's going to soon be a musical healer,
Yes.
and you were talking about following the passion.
Yes.
And one of the things that I remembered
Yes.
was that if truly we're following our passion,
Yes.
and externally it's not coming into sync the way we feel we wish it to be,
Yes.
it's not because the passion is wrong,
Correct.
but because there's another core belief that needs to be, that can be cleared to help clear the obstacles from the path to the passion. More or less, okay? Am I close?
The idea is not to set the goal, that the outcome is important. The idea is to understand that regardless of how anything looks, you still choose to be passionate for its own sake, because that's who you are, not because it's going to change how the world looks around you.
Right, but is it sometimes what for me, when I have a passion, it feels strongly.
Yes.
Yeah, that, and some of that's obviously the expectation of the outcome.
Yes.
I understand that.
All right.
But it was almost the sensation that in addition to that and letting go of the expectation, going to the detached state,
Yes.
right? That also it's an opportunity to amp
Yes.
it up a bit,
Yes.
go back to the desire,
Yes.
right? And then allow, if there is other core issues,
Oh, yes.
to be cleared.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's always an opportunity, and that is how to use it in a positive way so that the highest degree of probability or likelihood for allowing the outer reality to change comes about, but not because it has to, not because that becomes the primary
Right.
focus. But
Understood,
yes.
Understood. For me, it's again synchronicity because
Yes.
this has been, for me, a journey this past year of truly clearing the inner, healing the inner child, or coming to that
All right.
innocence And so with, for me, the first one was, no matter what I do, it's not good enough.
All right.
And there's still about a 10% charge around that one, but it's,
Oh, 10%.
Yeah,
You're actually able to measure it.
I muscle tested.
Oh.
But it
Oh,
was
how
interesting
sophisticated. All right.
But it also kind of fit back into
Yes.
the continual journey through the 4Ds
Oh, yes.
and amping it up.
Yes.
And being aware that although the outside doesn't change, it's how I react to it differently. Yeah?
Yes.
Because the situation may not change, but I no longer take it as a failure.
Exactly.
So it's that ramping it up.
You are imbuing it with new meaning so that you give it the opportunity to become some other kind of reflection. But since you've already imbued it with new meaning, you couldn't care less because you already have the state of being you were looking for anyway.
The second one is, no matter what if I ask for what I need, then I'll be left. And in my sophisticated measuring system, there's still about 60% charge on that.
One moment. Repeat that. If you ask for what
A
you
core
need,
belief
you
that I
will
had
be
had, if I ask for what I need,
you will be
left.
left,
Left.
left alone, left behind,
Left inside of
left of center,
Left instead of right? No.
left instead of
Blue
right,
state, red state, no. Left behind, left.
left behind.
Abandoned.
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 Ah, all right.
Okay? And so for me,
By whom?
now, others outside.
Others. Any others in particular?
And currently it's relationship, but it's my issue, not his.
Understood, but it is always insightful to understand whom you are using as a reflection of your issue.
And we work through that.
All
When
right.
it comes up, now I'm aware that
All
it's coming
right,
up.
all right.
And
And so
revisit
you
and go to
are
the stage.
now no longer left? Or you
no,
said there was 6% remaining?
60. Now there's still a
60?
bit. Yes, there's still a bit, but it's much better than 100. So
Oh, if you say so.
it's improvement.
Oh,
but
all
for me,
right.
it's the choice in the past was not to
May I
for it.
ask you a question?
Of course.
Well, thank you. How do you know it's exactly 60%?
I muscle tested it,
And
and it came out at 60.
And
It's around that, meaning it's
is that the only kind of criteria that you feel you can use to determine what percentage is left?
no. I'm aware that I still have a greater charge on that than I do on the previous one.
Ah.
So I'm aware that I'm still working through those levels.
All right. Now, there's another way to look at it, although you may find this is not to your liking, and if it's not, that's fine.
That means I'm supposed to pay attention to it.
Instead of saying 10%, 60%, and again, if you want to maintain that as a way to understand where you feel you're at, that's fine. But I'm just going to give you another suggestion, another idea to think about. You can muscle test this idea if you want. Everything is 100% whatever it is. You are either 100% this or you're 100% that. You're not 60% anything or 10% anything. Now, you can use the 100% to make it seem as if you're 10% this or 60% that, but you're 100% that experience, that scenario is its own reality. Every change is a total change. If in one moment you feel you are 100% this thing you don't prefer, and maybe 3 days later you're only 60% of that thing you don't prefer, those are two completely 100% different realities
I understand
unto
that.
themselves.
No, I understand that.
All right. So, you can sometimes use this idea of measuring yourself and saying, well, 60%, 10%. Sometimes, if you're not paying attention to what you're doing, you can become caught up in that and think that you actually haven't completely and totally changed your reality 100%. It's just that you're defining the new 100% reality as an experience of only having gotten 30% of the way, or 40% of the way, or 50% of the way. But that's a 100% reality.
Right.
And could be seen as 100% this and 100% that. Now, at whatever rate or configuration you feel works for you defines your process in terms of how you are altering or reconfiguring each of those 100% realities. I'm just reminding you, not telling you you have to do it differently. I'm just reminding you that each of those is a 100% configuration. That's all. And it could be anything you want it to be in that moment if you feel that works for you. Just a reminder. All right?
Right, understood.
Okay.
The first time I measured it was this morning when I was doing my meditation preparing to come for today.
Yes.
And so I was doing a meditation on what core issues right now
Yes.
are presenting themselves.
All right.
And so because I have been working and playing with this for a while,
Yes.
and I was congratulating myself for reacting differently
Yes.
in external situations that brought up that first issue,
All right. Very good.
and recognizing with the second issue that there is still a stronger, I still react more often in the old pattern.
All right.
So it's not this magic number that's on the bulletin board that I cross off every day and remeasure it. I just,
All right. And
But-
remember that that's a result of still believing that that reaction serves you best.
Right, I understand that.
All right.
But what did come up as
Yes.
being a stronger, I won't give a number,
Thank you.
a stronger reaction this
But don't
morning.
let me stop you from doing so if you want to.
It's fine.
All right.
And it ties back into, Joseph was talking about the fear of death.
Yes.
Consciously,
Yes.
I don't feel I have a fear of death. I've done a lot of work through my meditation. When my father died, there was a lot of
All right.
celebration.
All right.
But what's come up is not feeling safe being in my power,
Oh, all right.
not
Yes. Feel whatever you wish to feel. That's part of the release.
sorry,
Oh, no, no, no. Please do not apologize.
not being safe, allowing my light to shine.
All right. What kind of definition do you believe you have that makes you feel you are not safe using your full power? What do you think will happen if you do?
Well, I've gone through that process, and
What do you think will happen if you do?
what happens is I get a physical sensation
Yes.
where my third eye just locks up, and it is so tight and painful. It's like someone's
So do you think the ego thinks that in order to do that, it must die, and it's afraid to do that? Because it equates that change with annihilation?
I think that's part of it. I think part of it was sexual abuse as a child.
All right.
And although I have done a lot of healing on that,
There is
I
obviously
feel like
more
there's
to
more
do.
levels.
Yes.
I also,
One moment. One moment.
thank you.
Take a deep breath.
I also,
Whoa, 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 whoa,
sorry.
whoa, 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 whoa. One moment, one moment. No talking for the moment. Just sit with it. Just stand, sit, be with it. Just stay where you are. Just feel it. Allow yourself to feel the experience of the devaluation that was the experience you had of the abuse. The devaluation. Just let that feeling move through you. Feeling devalued, discounted, used, made to feel less than, made to feel unworthy, made to feel like nothing, no thing. Annihilated, annihilated, fragmented, fractured, annihilated. Now, even with all those feelings, underneath all that, just have the simple feeling of recognition that you still exist, and that can never change. And under that, feel that if you do exist, then the unconditional love and support of all that is must be yours, or you wouldn't exist. Just feel that recognition that your existence and anything you want your experience of your existence to become is unconditionally loved and supported by the very fact that you exist. Let that unconditional love become as real as you can, even if it's only 1%. Just recognize that if you didn't have the unconditional love and support of all that is, you would not be able to exist even for a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a second. But since you do exist and are feeling all these things, telling yourself, showing yourself, proving to yourself through these feelings and experiences that you do in fact exist, oh yes, then know at least that underlying all those experiences that you are working to transform is the very fact that the reason you exist at all is because you have the absolute and unconditional support and love of all that is, and you can do anything you want with that. And you deserve it, or you wouldn't exist. And that's how much you are loved. You are so loved, so unconditionally supported and loved, that you even are allowed to have experiences that are unpleasant for you, are devaluing. You can have an experience of being devalued because you are allowed to have any experience at all, because you are totally supported and cannot be destroyed, cannot be annihilated. You will always exist no matter what. And that means you will always come through it into another experience. Because while the first law is that you exist, and the second is that the one is all and the all are one, and the third is that what you put out is what you get back, the fourth is that change is the only constant, except for the first three laws. And so everything changes, as you are changing now, but we just want to remind you that the reason that you have the experience at all is because you are unconditionally supported and loved and can do anything you wish with that. And we simply would like to remind you to take that to heart, even with all of what you might be going through. Do your best to remember that and let that make a difference in your re-evaluation and revaluation of yourself. Can you do that?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does this help you?
It does. I have one more question.
Yes.
Which may be the same answer. I understand that.
All right.
Is it important for me to find out if there was anything other than the sexual abuse? I understand that the healing is the same as what you've just said.
Yes.
But
is it important to get in touch with a specific incident?
no, that's not it. I also have the sense that there may have been something directly related to the light that wasn't sexual abuse, whether it was psychic or something else.
In what way? Can you be more
Yeah,
specific?
I have no memory of being abducted, but I've had healers say there have been implants, and I don't have a fear of extraterrestrial beings.
But you're asking the question.
But I'm asking the question only because of what happens to me physically when I get close to these places, and I realize it's some of it is the ego. Is that all it is, or is there something else?
No. Let us explain a little bit. There are similar vibrations only because of the shift that, in a sense, you go through in those times. One of the reasons why our civilization and other civilizations do not come full force into a landing on your planet is that we understand that we represent a completely different dimensional vibration than you do. And we understand that our dimensional vibration, because in a sense, no judgment intended, we are operating on a more holistic level, is somewhat, shall we say, more amplified, magnified, or powerful than you believe yours is.
Right.
And in your belief that yours is a lower vibration, it allows something to happen wherein if we come face to face with you before you're ready, if you immerse yourself in our vibration before you are ready to handle that level of vibration, our vibration can overwhelm yours and force, in a sense, you toward an integration with aspects of yourself you may not be ready to integrate, and that can cause great paralysis and fear. In what are the so-called abductions, which is a different matter altogether with regard to the beings doing that, you are shifted interdimensionally, and that interdimensional shift has a similar effect to what I just described. In shifting interdimensionally to have those experiences, in a sense, more of you is forced into your consciousness. You become more aware of more of yourself, including parts you may not be willing or ready to integrate. And that causes a great amount of fear and paralysis. Do you follow me?
Mm-hmm.
So, in a sense, it's a side effect of the shifting, and until such time as more integration takes place, it may then, afterward, you will find, relax, and there will be less fear. But until such time, anytime you approach that vibration, there will be a little bit of trepidation because you associate that shift with being forced to face things you may not be fully integrating yet. But take your time. Those things happened in your life to give you a clue. You can use them this way, to give you a clue as to how to sense when you are approaching issues that require integration. You can use that also as a measurement barometer. Does this help? Does it make sense?
It does.
Yes. Where does that take you then?
Well, I think because I believe, that if there was an abduction, it was a contract. I don't believe that it was a forced, and I do.
All things on a certain level are a contract, but also understand there are from time to time things that are not necessarily consciously understood between the beings that are interacting about that contract, and it doesn't necessarily excuse that something might be done to you in a way that is not necessarily representative of your preference. It is the duty of all the beings in the contract to come to the conscious awareness of how the interaction could possibly take place in a manner that is more representative of your preferred vibration, but that doesn't always happen because the beings involved in the abductions are not necessarily as evolved as you think.
Understood.
They are also not necessarily exactly what you call extraterrestrials.
Right. Okay. So, because in my toning work and my healing, I have a connection with ETs, galactics, cosmic,
oh yes,
whatever. It's a very strong connection, and it's a very heartfelt connection, and it's a very loving connection.
Yes.
And I have a lot of trust in that connection.
All right.
So I guess just if you can give me a bit of advice when this reaction happens in my body, and it's a very physical reaction.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's more painful
breathe
than
through
fear.
it. Breathe through it. And as you breathe, with every breath, remind yourself you are willing to go into the experience, but you will go in on your own terms.
Okay. Because I've tried breathing through it, I've tried ignoring it, I've tried
it's
forcing
not
it.
just the idea of breathing.
Right.
It's breathing to center yourself to the point where you are making a declaration that you are willing to do this, but you're also putting out that you're going to do it on your own terms. And making that declaration will allow them to begin to respond in another way. Do you follow me?
Yes, thank you very much.
Also.
Yes, sir.
Do you have a favorite flower?
Yes.
What?
A bird of paradise?
Does it have an aroma?
Not really.
Do you have a favorite flower that has an aroma?
I don't think a lily of the valley does either.
You want to stick to the bird of paradise?
Yes.
All right. I would suggest that you have a bird of paradise in whatever area it's most likely that this experience may happen, so that when you gaze upon it, you remember that that's what you are.
Right.
And that you take that vibration into your breathing, into your understanding of what terms are correct and appropriate for you in the engagement.
So I'm willing to engage on my own terms.
Yes, and use the bird of paradise to remind yourself that that symbolizes the appropriate vibration you want to remain in while carrying out whatever agreements you may have made.
Thank you, Bashar.
All right?
Blessings.
And there will be help from other sources as well. All right?
Is that just a tease?
No. Well, I can't tell you much more about
I
it.
know,
I'm
thank
just
you.
assuring you you're not alone.
Right. Thank you, Bashar.
All right. What is your time frame for the remainder of this segment?
It's 3:20, so I'm not sure.
All right.
An hour. Well, we have an hour
Yes, understood.
without the break.
Understood. So at this timing, we sense that you will take a short break. Again, quickly refresh yourselves, and we will resume contact shortly. Thank you.